So, ladies and gentlemen, as we look back on the best episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, which we've done for a while, this episode had so many plot holes that even if you tried to wrap your head around it, it would ruin the episode. It's considered by many a top 5 episode all time in the Star Trek universe, and basically brought Patrick Stewart to a new level of appreciation. It was an Emmy nominated episode of the series, Season 5, Episode 25, for its very strong makeup, and it's called The Inner Light, not to be confused with the Beatles song. This is the 125th episode overall and the 25th and penultimate episode of the 5th season of Star Trek The Next Generation. June 1st, 1992. The episode was written by freelance writer Morgan Gendel, based on his original pitch. It was partly inspired by the Beatles song The Inner Light, written by George Harrison, and based on verses in a Tao Te Ching. Gendel is credited as writer of the story and co-writer of the teleplay with Peter Allen Fields. Again, first broadcast on that beautiful June 1st day, 92, almost 22 years ago. 32 years ago. Now, set in the 24th century, the series does follow the adventures of the Starfleet crew on the Federation starship Enterprise D. In this episode, Jean-Luc Picard is struck unconscious by an energy beam from an alien probe. While just 25 minutes pass for the rest of the crew between Picard being struck unconscious and eventually regaining consciousness on the Enterprise bridge floor, the probe makes Picard experience some 40 years of lifetime as Kamen, a humanoid scientist whose planet is threatened by a nova of its sun. The probe was later found to contain a flute, which Picard had played in over those years and keeps as a memento. Now, we don't know if this was an extended dream because of the way it's cut. There's jumping in time, his relationship with his wife of that era, his daughter, his son, his grandkids, and various friends and colleagues. The episode is widely considered by critics and fans as one of the best of the entire franchise. In '93, The Inner Light won the Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation. The flute melody featured prominently in the episode was composed by Jay Chataway and has since been rearranged for a full orchestra. The episode has also been cited as a favorite by members of the show's cast and crew, and as a fan favorite, even resulting in a 2021 auction of the prop flute. Once thought by Christie's auction house to be worth $450 in 2023 dollars, it sold for $190,000 the same year. Now this one, on Stardate 4944.1, the Enterprise finishes a magnetic wave survey of a Parvenium system and finds an unknown probe. The device rapidly scans the ship and directs an energy being Picard, who wakes up to find himself on Catan, a non-Federation planet. A woman, Eileen, tells Picard that he's Kamen, an Iron Weaver recovered from a fever, and that she is his wife. Picard speaks of his life in the Enterprise, but Eileen and her close friend Bataille try to convince Picard that his memories were only feverish dreams and incorporate him to their society as Kamen. Picard begins living his life as Kamen in his village, Resik, having children with Eileen and learning to play the flute. Kamen spends much time outdoors and with his Dobsonian telescope studying nature. As the years pass, he begins to notice that the drought is caused by increased radiation from the planet's sun. He sends reports to the planet's leaders, who seems to ignore his concerns. Now on the Enterprise, the crew continues attempts to revive him. They try to block the influence of the probe, but Picard nearly dies, so they are forced to let it continue. They trace the rocket's trajectory to a system whose sun went nova 1,000 years before, rendering life extinct in the system. Now, years later, and Kamen outlives Eileen and Bataille. Kamen and his daughter Mary Bohr continue their study of the drought. They find that it's not temporary. The extinction of life on the planet is inevitable. Kamen confronts a government official who privately admits to him that they already know this, but keep it secret to avoid panic. The official gravely points out to Kamen that he have only recently launched artificial satellites using primitive rockets. The race simply does not possess the technology to evacuate people before their planet is rendered uninhabitable. Now, the Picard or Kamen of the time says, well, can you make soil samples or DNA? And he's kind of tut-tutted. One day, while playing with his grandson, Kamen is summoned by his adult children to watch the launch of a rocket, which everyone seems to know about except him. As he walks outside the glaring nova light, Kamen sees Eileen and Bataille as young as when he first saw them. They explained he's already seen a rocket just before he came there. Knowing that their planet was doomed, the planet's leaders placed memories of their society into a probe and launched it into space in the hope it would find someone who could tell others about their species. Picard realizes the context by saying in a very sad voice, "Oh, it's me, isn't it?" He says, "I'm the someone. I'm the one it finds." Realizing that Kamen was the avatar he chose to represent their race. Now, Picard wakes up on the bridge of the Enterprise to discover that while he perceived many decades have transpired, only 25 minutes have passed. The probe terminates as it brought aboard the Enterprise. Inside, the crew finds a small box. Riker gives the box to Picard, who opens it to find Kamen's flute. Picard, now adept at the instrument, plays a melody he learned during his time on Kamen. Now, Gendel named the episode again after The Inner Light, a song written by George Harrison and released by the Beatles as a B-side of Lady Madonna. The lyrics of Harrison's song were based on the 47th chapter of the Tai Te Ching. Now the lyrics go, "Without going inside his door, one understands under the sky. Without looking out from his window, one sees the Tao of heaven. The farther that one goes out, the less he knows. Therefore the sages got their knowledge without traveling, gave their names to things without seeing them, and accomplished their ends without any purpose of doing so." According to Gendel, the song captured the theme of the show, that Picard experienced a lifetime of memories, all in his head. Now, the flute itself, the Risikian flute, resembles as a similar sound to a penny whistle or a tin whistle. It is considered a lasting reminder of Picard's virtual life on the planet throughout the rest of the series. And of course, the flute could be seen several times through the movies and the TV series. Now, a simple recurring theme that Picard plays on the flute was later developed into a full orchestral suite for the 30th anniversary of Star Trek. Another tune heard on the flute in the Inner Light was incorporated in the opening theme of Star Trek Picard. Now, the flutes, the various ones have been sold for tons of money through the years. Now, the original flute and storage box, along with a script from the episode, complete with costume continuity photos and handwritten notes, was auctioned during a prop store collectibles auction with a pre-auction estimate of $70,000, and again it went for $190,000. Now, the episode again is the favorite of Patrick Stewart, who played Picard. Star Trek writer Susan Sackham notes it's also her favorite episode, even though it was one she did not write. In 2011, IO9 ranked The Inner Light as the 8th best episode of the 6th TV series of the Star Trek franchise. Now, in 2005, The Hollywood Reporter noted this episode's presentation to Picard, remembering his probe life and quietly playing the Risikian flute in his cabin, ranked it as the 5th most stunning moment of Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, 2016, Hollywood Reporter marked it as the 4th best Star Trek. Empire called it 10th best, and Radio Times said that Picard playing the flute at the end of the episode was one of the greatest scenes in Star Trek television history. Now, in 2007, Variety said it was the best episode. Nerdist said it was the 2nd best. Screen Rant called it the 2nd most romantic episode. Fatherly ranked as one of the top 10 episodes of Star Trek for kids to watch. Den of Geek called it the top 25, and Vulture listed as one of the best episodes of Star Trek. Now, Popular Mechanics called it top 12. In 2018, Sci-Fi noted the flute solo was one of the famous pieces of music for Star Trek. In 2019, Screen Rant ranked it as the top 10 important episodes to watch before Star Trek Picard, and a Hollywood Reporter listed the top 25 in 2019. Now, CNET called the episodes great TV in 2010, and the Digital Effects called it a rich, powerful piece of storytelling. Now, in 2011, Robert Vaux, writing for CBR, highlighted this episode among a trio of season 5 episodes that Stewart shone in. Now, awards and nominations: Hugo Award for Best Romantic Presentation, and it was again nominated for Best Makeup. I said it won, but it didn't. It lost to Star Trek's Deep Space Nine, Captive Pursuit. Now, the 2 Hugos that won previously for Star Trek included Menagerie and All Good Things. Now, a DVD release came as part of the Best of Star Trek Volume 2, Next Generation, in 2009. This episode is so sad, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you something, you need a box of hankies to cover it. When I first saw it, I could not believe what they were trying to do. Like I said, there's plot holes galore, but that's what great science fiction is. Don't think of the plot holes, think about it. And to see Patrick Stewart, like he's always been an explorer or like a researcher, and deep down he always wanted a family. and this gave them the family, and it was taken away. So that's the big tragedy here. Not only that the whole sun in the universe, sun in the systems went nova. Such a beautiful, beautiful people were not part of Federation. They would have made a Federation better. So that's the latest on our Star Trek Next Generation tribute. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Requests are highly, highly appreciated and always highly considered. Thanks for listening. Bye.